is below. Even the UFOs came here and made that perfectly clear by making that display with their ships to show you that they are connected with the SUN sun, and I am the SON sun that claims to be the offspring of this sun right here and the other sun that comes into play at this time when I come to Earth and walk around and do my thing like I'm doing now. You can see all of the brilliance of all of the magnificence showing pathways and routes and roads to come to the Earth, as if to signify that the prosperity is available for those who would like to be initiated into the contestant's role. But you gotta want to be involved. And that's the form of consciousness that's most important of all. The fact of knowing is the half of the battle. And when you know this stuff to be so, you eradicate the need for faith. And all these blue lights in the middle that shows you the spiral of life formation is to show you the representation of the Buddha that can command the element to tornado your ass. That's what that spiral means. It means being in the center of the formation of weather enticement, which makes it very simple. I can think real hard, and if it's a worthy, divine ordainment that's due necessary for the enlightenment of people of the earth, this sun will commission the elements to make it so. But at the same time, I have to be very careful not to let ego get in the way and cause me to make myself deemed unworthy of this position. So it's a lot of stress. I have to stay alone a lot so I don't let my emotions from my own personal life make me make foolish decisions from the emotional format. Because I'm encapsulated in the physicality like everyone else on the earth, I have to be very careful about what I think and allow myself to follow up on from thought. That is the reason why I'm always constantly involving myself with studying and reading and trying to stay away from altercations with people as much as possible. Hidden Park is so synonymous with the type of mentality that I have, because a lot of things that I talk about is very challenging to people to accept, even with the sun giving substantiation to my claims. There's still people who find it very disturbing or very hard to understand the formation of this beautiful display of God energy. Because it's just not something that's on your everyday plate. The menu don't offer this every day, so when people see it, they be like, well, what is this? I say, oh, just try it, you'll like it. This is not anything that should be making you be afraid. If you look up here, you can see UFOs, the little white ones flying around. And by the way, I do see a lot of strange birds flying around too in my videos, if you guys ever noticed. But as you can see, there is the lights coming from the sky to the ground, just like the UFO was showing. Okay? Okay, so now remember, the name of this video is called The Many Facets of Justice. You know, when the police come after you, first thing they do is turn all those lights on to get your attention, right? So you're looking at the sun siren right now. Better take heed. Some blessings. Okay, Mayot Hotel. This is Sarah. Set tapping around my eye. I want you to know that I did some research and I read up on some of the circumstances behind so many cruise ships having altercations at sea. they're blaming all these captains for being negligent because of the fact that they so money hungry, they won't tell you that the seas are under policing by these UFOs. See, let me explain to you what's going on. Same way the police ride around everybody all day writing these stupid tickets that's way too expensive for people to pay. Then after you can't pay the tickets, they take your license away and all the stuff they do to disadvantage you in this world. Well, the UFOs that's here is using the same tactics against the corporations that's responsible for all the pillaging of all of your wealth. Everybody on this planet is pouring into the doghouse now because the corporations that own this ship right here own the jailhouses, own Walmart, own McDonald's, own the roads, own those sheriffs and those police cars that pull you over and write you those ridiculously large ass tickets that they know no one can pay because no one has any jobs. So, since they're so non-caring about our circumstances on earth, and they do everything they can to disfranchise us and make our asses lose money and lose time and put ourselves in positions where we could all die. That's exactly what these UFOs that has come to the earth, that's making it so perfectly honest to everyone and obvious that they are giving me stuff to say to you. And I know you guys are getting tired of saying shit over and over and over, but I have nothing to do but this, and so I'm going to do it. I want to show you that there is some substantiation to the fact that I'm telling you guys that these UFOs live on this earth with us, have always been here with us, has always been taking pictures and data to use later down the line as evidence of the most atrocious deeds that these corporations around the earth has been doing to the earth recipients, how we've been taken advantage of, and how our money and all our efforts and our labor has all been stolen from us so these corporations could have material wealth like this. And the material wealth like this is what gives them absolute power over the masses of people on the earth. And they also extract money from us through our ignorance and our getting involved with their religious systems and all the things like this. So since these supreme beings and the light ships know that we are all being turned into chattel property and are all being victimized by the oppressors of this planet, they have come here to give us assistance and to prove to you my theory. When you see this, don't think that someone is doing this to you. They're not doing it to you. They're doing it to the people that is keeping you in bondage. Okay? You should be happy that this is happening. Okay, now, if you can see this fireball, and you can see that debris fragment, and if you can see right here, none of these windows blew out. That's why I did that so many times. I want you to see that actually. Watch at the impact. As a matter of fact, how about this? That's what I want you to see. Look at that. Look how obvious to what that is. There could be no doubt in your mind what that is. Look at it. I'm going to try to make it go really, really slow. Okay, so you will have no doubt. You see it? There should be no doubt at all in your mind to what you are looking at. There it goes. I'll move it back more for you. This is just for the skeptics. Now, if you can't see that, all right, then understand that it is what it is. I don't know what to tell you. These things live on our earth, in the ground. They've always been here. They are controlled by the light ships that you see around the sun, that made the sun and the planets turn into their eggs to authenticate my kingdom, being the earth, and I being the God of Sar. This ship right here is what I tell you guys when I say I have sustainment under the earth. This is mine. Under the earth sustainment, as well as all the vegetation on earth, as well as all of the elemental forces. But these right here are the nether forces that's going to come out and assist me in the eradication of materialism all around this planet. Right now it's these ships so we can show these oppressors, Italy, Spain, Russia, Germany, China, France, Britain, Israel, and America. All you guys better understand something. It's getting ready to go down. All this shit that they have built, all this stuff around here, that when I lived in Los Angeles, these cities like this have all these tall skyscrapers everywhere. All this space in these buildings are most of the time 45% occupied, 55% non-occupancy, while we have large numbers of people freezing to death, starving to death, and can't have jobs. All because the people who have these things like this have so much wealth where they could build this thing so massively. Okay? Now I want to tell you something. This is going to be disturbing when you hear this. But this thing is built as strong as an ocean war vessel. Want me to prove that to you? Watch what happens when this thing strikes right here. It's not even going to blow these windows out. Look how well built it is. It looks like a military ship if you really want to know that thing. Watch when it hits right here. It's not going to blow those windows out at all. Watch. The windows are going to stay intact. Did you see that? Let's do it again. No window debris flying out anywhere. Let's do it again. Okay, this is your taxpayer dollars. Even though this is an Italy cruise ship, the fact that it was Germany, France, Russia, England, all those European nations came over here and stole this land from the inhabitants that was here. They utilized a system of control to seeing all of the broke-ass white people that was there in Europe not doing well at all, under control of the government, got opportunity to come here and start a new life that would eventually end up making this become operative under the New England system of capitalism. All of the heartland of America, as well as all the New England states, are all going to be really bombarded with some heavy-duty weather. Those New England states are all going to be targeted because of the fact that they are New England states. And this place is no longer going to be considered to be New England because it never was. That was just somebody's imagination that came over here and murdered a bunch of people and changed the name. And the only thing that you did was that. You murdered a bunch of people and started calling this what you wanted to call it because you claimed it after you murdered everyone and stole it from them. So the universe is saying, okay, but see, that's not abiding and it's not finalized. This is a fleeting circumstance that I'm about to prove to them, just like I'm destroying this shit out on the ocean. I'll be here to see these buildings real soon. Real soon. Because the fact that you guys are so damn greedy, you got all this materialism around the earth, and everybody that you want to come and spend money with you on these things, you make money available to them so the small amount of people can all sustain themselves by having the privilege to spend money with each other to keep this type of system afloat. But while you guys are enjoying everything on the earth, everybody else like my ass can't find a job and finding it hard to pay rent, and finding it hard to get their teeth peeled, and all that other shit. And then you take care of your chosen people that you give all the jobs to and underpay them too. But it's just really win-win-win for you. That's how you're able to build these ships as strong and as solid as this one is. Because you stole all the freaking money from everybody to do it with. But guess what? I want to show you something. See this? You didn't count on this, did you? Well, you don't have to deal with this. I'm going to turn the volume up on your ass. Because these things are really, really getting ready to get aggressive. Aggressive as the ignorancy of this freaking computer popping up shit I didn't want to come on. Okay, that's enough of that. I just want you guys to understand that the universe does have a plan for their ass. And it's going to involve a whole lot of this type of shit right here. Peace and blessings. Hotel. Mayat Hotel. So now remember, what I'm claiming is that the universe is tired of people going out on the ocean, just taking advantage of everything, making all this materialism and just disrespecting other people, making materialism be so important that other people have to starve and be unemployed, can't get unemployment, and have to be homeless in a world where you have many empty houses that nobody live in but the bankers who own all this wealth, selling people boats and ships and polluting the water and purging engine oil in the water and all kind of crazy shit, drinking alcohol out on the ocean and just not having no respect for anything. So now the universe is using the elemental forces to make crazy stuff happen, like big ocean liners breaking away from the moor and crashing into each other and all kind of crazy stuff like this. But this little crash right here I saw, and I thought I'd let you guys see it too, because it's kind of amazing how this can happen in a big ass ocean. I mean, as big as the ocean is, how does two boats out on a big ass ocean do this? Now explain this to me.
Heading back to port.
As you can see, there I go. Look, I told you, everywhere I go, I can see those triangles doing that. Now look at this. Boom. Ain't that something? Watch this. I'm going to show you something. Okay. Watch when the sun comes. That's so beautiful. Look at it. See? Even out on the ocean, it shows you what's above is below. So I'm not claiming that I'm the only person who can get this in my camera. But what I claim is, you don't see no green light. And you don't see the attachment of the one from the top coming down and going up. And you don't see no X. And you do not see no light ships around there. Okay, so the sun is showing you how unique it is everywhere it goes, how beautiful it is, and how it's willing to display its arrangement of beautiful colors. But I just want to point out my unique arrangement, not because of ego, but just as a credibility. See, there is the one on top, which is beautiful. It's just a beautiful picture altogether. But look at this. Bang. So it's just showing you that it knew itself that eventually I'd be here showing you this. And here I am doing just that. See? See the sun cooperating with me? It say, we'll do it again. Bang. See, what it's saying is that it's too much commercialism. These people who own this stuff like this are the ones, and I'm not saying these people in general on this particular boat, but people that have stuff like this do have problems with accepting people for face value. This materialism makes people have very arrogant attitudes. And this is the reason why there's so much disrespect and so much inhumane attitudes toward occupants of the earth, as the way these type of things that the universe is getting ready to destroy now have become what people have their quest based on this openness and extravagances. And no one gives a fart about anyone else. December 14, 2012, this is where two ships were anchored together in a parking area. You can see them both here. There's one there and one here. So you can see the distance between those two ships. Let me come back so I can show you that. Okay? See this one way over there. Look, see how far it is from this one? Some distance, isn't it? You can see that, right? See the distance? Okay, what happened is the wind started blowing really, really hard. This one is anchored. They're both anchored. It's people that came into port. As you can see, it says, in the afternoon, a tremendous but brief storm blew in with heavy rain and 75 miles per hour wind gusts. Somehow this was powerful enough to rip loose the forward mooring of the Norwegian Star and start blowing the ship away from the dock. Now listen, when I tell you the elemental forces are at work to destroy materialism, I'm going to give you a little example. Okay? Now these things were docked, tied up at the moor, as it says right there. This is the view from the Windjammer Cafe, high on the sterns of the Explorer of the Seas. Okay, you see it was parked right here. You can see the rope broke, and the wind is blowing this thing. Remember where the other ship was at, okay? Remember the distance that they were from each other. This was right here. You can see it now. It came all the way over there to where this other ship was parked. I mean, of all the places for it to go, the wind deliberately blew it right into the path of the other ship that was parked there. And look what happens. Bang. Okay? So it made these two things, in other words, 75 miles an hour winds where this thing was parked at. So the wind just moved into there just to show you. I'm saying that the universe will always give you little bitty example, or if you will, samples of what's to come. And it's showing you right now, keep your ass out the ocean, because I'm in control of the elements, and I am going to single your ass out and burn you up and sink your ass. And that was this year, September the 17th, 2012. Okay, so you've been warned that the universe is seriously upset and that she is going to be playing for keeps on all this materialism out on the ocean will be destroyed. Okay? Alright? Now understand that. That was just a small example of what's to come. Okay? I'll be back. This ship right here is the Consta Concordia. As you can see, it smashed into those rocks, didn't it? You see that? You guys see that? Now look, let me explain something to you. You're not going to let no captain go out with this ship that's not smart enough to be able to see that he's getting too close to all those damn rocks around there. Because see, I'm not a captain of a ship, but I did drive a big truck. And see, I know when my trucks start getting off the road that I'm heading for trouble. See, because the truck is supposed to stay on the road. Which means that all of these rock formations and everything have all been charted out. And not only have they been charted out, they've all been entered into the computer navigational system, as to where the computer on the boat itself would have started warning his captain that he was getting awful close to the rocks. Not only does the computer warn the captain that he was getting awful close to the rocks, the captain have other people in the engine room with him that monitors the depth of the ocean and monitors their location through satellite, okay, to make sure that these ships are not supposed to run aground. Now look, when you run aground so much that you capsize this close to land, that means that you were totally negligent. Now listen to what I'm saying. No captain is totally negligent like that. If you are seasoned enough where you get control of a vessel this size, this is something you don't let happen. Want me to tell you what happened? You know how we saw the wind just go in there and tear those other ships up and make them just have a small accident with each other because they was parked in land? That was the wind saying to them, yeah, this is where you better keep your ass at, parked right here. Because as soon as you bring your ass out on this ocean again, I'm going to do the same thing to your ass that I did to that Concordia. I'm going to put the waves behind you and run your ass into the rocks. That's what it was saying. That's what's going down. The elemental forces is taking control of the earth back from the tyrant corporations and letting them know just how nothing they are. I'll be back. Okay, let's see what you think about this one. This one is pretty, yeah. Okay, some things just speak for themselves. I mean, this is like a big old, I don't know, somebody was not really, I don't know what to say about that one. I mean, that's a lot. Any way you look at that, I mean, what do you say? If there's not an elemental force out there that is deliberately making a point, if you will, that it doesn't want people out here, okay? I think I'm going to take a look at this again. Okay? Okay. Alrighty then. So I'm going to let you guys know again that I suspect that there is elemental forces out destroying materialism via elemental forces. Hold on. Hotel. Okay, I thought this was kind of interesting. It's just a bunch of different arrangements of boat crashes, not a big deal. It's just human error is what it is. But what I'm getting at is that the human error factor of all this is always what is the first beginning of all forms of illnesses, whether they're on microcosm or microcosm. A microcosm illness could be an illness on the planet that people are suffering from their accumulation of too much materialism. When you subscribe to religious dogma that is perpetuating acts of criminality, where you are instructed by a God that you can go into the land of other people and murder them and steal their shit and all that stuff like that without it being any type of altercation or rebellion coming behind that, or any chance of you having a repercussion of circumstances that is pretty much just called, every action has a consequence. When you get to believing that you have a God that makes you non-recipient of karma, in other words, if you do not believe in karmic reapings, of people that believe that your Jesus can really give you permission to do horrible crimes against people because of their skin color, and you just happen to accumulate material wealth behind your bad actions, eventually the material wealth that you have gained from your acts of criminality will show you just how really foolish it is to sell yourself out and put your soul at so much turmoil, because you will pay for every action. And all this stuff that you see going on right here, these people do so much stuff to gather all this materialism so they can feel great about themselves. And as you can see, this stuff just has a way of making you make a fool out of yourself, because you have to pay insurance for it. You have to find somewhere to store it. You have to constantly worry about stuff happening to it. And when you start putting that much energy into materialism, you end up forgetting about self-safety and safety of other people. And that's why you end up with a world that have high rises that reach miles and miles and miles and miles of skyscraper all around this planet. And then you got so many homeless people. It's this type of negligence that you see right here that people have with their materialism that they also demonstrate against other people. Do you see? All this, the camera ruined, and you better believe that all that went down right there after someone had just went through so many foolish type of actions to accumulate all this stuff. Look at this. Now this is some longshoreman breaching place where this big old freighter just came in and raised some hell. Look at this. Look at it. So is there too much accumulation of material wealth on this planet? Yes, because when you're running out of space where you cannot maneuver things properly without things crashing into each other, it means that you have overcrowded your area, okay? And overcrowding always make people get to the point where they start having foolish notions that they should eradicate 80% of the people on the earth. And so the earth come up with the idea, no, let's just get rid of the materialism. Because see, if you were thinking properly, you would say that If we did not have so many buildings and so many harbor yards and so many train yards and so many parking lots, we could have more room to grow plants. And if we grow more plants, we can house more people, and more people will be able to fend for themselves. But see, we have a government that took the ability to fend for yourself away from you. As you can see, this is a shipping accident where a ship is sinking. That thing was sinking. Trust me, I'll be back. Alright, this was pretty cool too. You know, I thought this one was kind of off the chain. Let's check it out, alright? Watch this. How is that, huh? Let's take another look at it. How about one more time?